Thank you so much, Vikas. Let me share my screen. Hope my screen is visible, Vikas.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Aman Patel. I am a domain consultant for SASE at Palo Alto Networks. So, we'll quickly start and have a discussion on our session one, which would be on the unified SASE platform from Palo Alto Networks, which we called it as a Prisma SASE solution. So we have as in Palo Alto, we have a complete unified SASE solution where we secure all of the work done on the branch as well as your users, remote users, as well as on the browser, right? So quickly start the session. So before we start, right, and talk about SASE, let's explain where SASE sits in context of network security, right? Think about the problem which the enterprises are facing with network security today. In the traditional network which you see, right, it is very fragmented and a disjointed solution, which, however, creates complexity in managing the entire network security platform, as well as it is very challenging, especially when you grow your network, right? So without a platformization approach, your network security can look something like this, right? You have different solution where you want to manage it via different consoles, right? It is very challenging and complex, right? Now with that context, we'll understand how Palo Alto Prisma SASE addresses all of these challenges by delivering the Prisma SASE solution in the cloud-based security services, right? So when you talk about a SASE architecture, right? So SASE is basically a term coined by Gartner. So it is a combination of basically two solutions. One is the Prisma Access, where you will be securing all of the remote users, your connection towards the application for remote users. Prisma SD-WAN is the second component of the SASE architecture, where you will be securing your branch connectivity. And then the third component, which is one of the USP of our SASE solution, is the Prisma browser, where we will be securing all of the work done on the browser part of it, right? So combining all of these three solution from Palo Alto Networks, we have our Prisma SASE platform. So these are the three core platform in the Prisma SASE. And then all of these capabilities which you see in the middle of the section, right, which is best in class security, where you have advanced threat prevention, advanced URL filtering, your advanced DNS security, remote browser isolation, sandboxing, right? AI access security, your SSPM, CASB, DLP, device security, as well as the user experience, which is application experience and digital experience monitoring, right? So all of this best in class security as well as the exceptional experience using this user experience component of it. So Prisma's assay is the combination of these three solution as well as these components which you see in the middle. And finally, the Prisma's assay allow you to consolidate and simplify your security stack. So with the unified management and the operations part of it, so which we called it as the Strata Cloud Manager. So Radhika will talk more about SCM, which is our unified management platform and the operation stacks which we have. With all of this functionality, you would be able to secure all of the use cases where your users wants to connect to any of your resources hosted in data center, on the internet as a SaaS application, or on any of the cloud, be it AWS, Azure, GCP, you have your workloads, and on all the GenAI apps as well, right? Ensuring operational resiliency and exceptional experience to all your users, simplified troubleshooting and the policy management from our SCM, right? So this is the Prisma SASE solution from Palo Alto Networks. We'll quickly go ahead and understand the architecture of how the users will be connecting to your enterprise resources, right? So the first thing which we do over here is we intercept all the traffic which is initiated from user. The user can be anywhere at any location. it he can come, or the user can come from any device, right? Be it the unmanaged or unmanaged devices, or the headless or IoT devices, right? We need to intercept all of the traffic coming from this user towards your enterprise resources, right? Be it data center, cloud, SaaS apps, Gen AI apps, or the data center, right? Or the internet, right? We need to have continuously security posture management. So if you see, we need to identify what is the user, right? The identity of the user, their role, their behavior, what permission you have given to that user, and the third part parameter would be from which location this user is coming, right? So first we'll verify who the user is, what is the identity, what permissions you have given to this user, and from uh, which location this user is coming, right? The second thing we would be verifying is the device ID of that user, right? That which device they are using, right? And the third thing would be what application the user is requesting to access it, right? After posture check, your user will be able to verify all of these three components: user ID, device ID, and the application ID. And then we determine the application they are trying to access is allowed connection that should be established. Then we secure all the traffic while making sure that nothing is uh, nothing is in the security posture changes in the entire transaction, right? So when you do the posture check, it will do the continuous trust verification. It will do the continuous security inspection with the Prisma, all this cloud delivered security functionality. After inspecting all of this traffic, it will hand over this traffic towards, if it is diverted towards the internet, right, or it is towards your data center, it would be having a connectivity with our cloud as well. So all the live traffic which is coming from the user will be inspected by all of this security components which is there on our cloud. And then the user would be able to access the enterprise resources, right? With all of this functionality and the security solution in between, the user would able to access the application with best in class security, right? We do all of this using our inline security models powered by our patented precision AI technology. So this all of this technology is our patented, which comes under the precision AI, where we continuously train this data with 70K plus customer worldwide, right? So we have all of this data where we train our precision AI and threat in the basically in the cloud, right? And we prevent more than 9 million new zero-day threats prevented every day, right? So Palo Alto Networks is basically uh, securing all your application as well as the user from anywhere they are coming, from any device they are coming, inspecting all the live traffic throughout this session, right? Continuously checking the posture of the user in the session whenever that is initiated, right? So if you talk about other vendors, right, many other vendors will tell you something similar, right? However, in Palo Alto Networks, things we do are differently. That sets apart. So the first thing, if you see, we define application in a very granular manner, not just resolving the IP addresses. We resolve, instead we resolve it to microservices within an application, right? So we define the application in the very granular way. These are things which we do differently, right? And then second part is basically with single product, you have ability to secure all of the use cases, right? Whenever whether you have a user going to different types of application or whether they are coming from different places, right? So you can cover all of the use cases and you can define applications in a very granular manner, right? So this is how we have best in class security and best in class user experience, and uh, basically we have differentiating factors as I mentioned, right? Then the when you talk about uh, a branch kind of an environment, right? When you have the branches as well. So we just saw a Prisma access where the users will be the traffic initiated from the user will be secured, right? When you talk about a branch, right? So basically in Prisma SD-WAN, this is one of the component of our SASE platform that give a secure connectivity to your branch, right? To deliver application assurance, right? So if you have a branch devices, the Prisma SD-WAN devices at your branch location, which will be connected to the globally distributed Prisma access location, right? When you bring up any SD-WAN device, it automatically detects the Prisma access node. So these nodes are distributed globally, right? It automatically detects the node, and more importantly, these nodes are identified based on their closest proximity. So if suppose this branch is located in India, Mumbai region, right? So it will automatically detect that this branch is in Mumbai and it should connect to the nearest Prisma access location, which is India West, right? So it automatically detects the node to use using the optimal routing and with one click integration. So as you can see, within our SD-WAN device, it is just a one-click integration with our Prisma access, right? So this SD-WAN device will create a secure connectivity from the branch towards our Prisma access. And on the Prisma access, you get all of the best-in-class security, the operational experience, seamless management functionality, which we discussed on the Prisma access part, right? So integrating your SD-WAN device with the Prisma access, right, will give you a Prisma SASE solution. Traffic which is initiated from a branch will come to this SD-WAN device, will use the secure connectivity towards the Prisma access region. And from Prisma access, you have connectivity towards your data center, towards the SaaS application, GenAI application, or on the internet, right? So this is how the integration part works between the Prisma SD-WAN and Prisma access and giving you a secure Prisma SASE architecture. When you talk about a Prisma, any SD-WAN solution, right? So how it works basically is you have SD-WAN devices at your multiple branch locations. Then you have SD-WAN devices hosted in your data center. You create a secured IPsec connectivity between the SD-WAN devices, be it hub and spoke topology or full mesh connectivity, where you would be seeing the network metrics, right? Like loss, latency, and jitter. So these are network metrics where any SD-WAN device, if you talk about, they basically do the check of this metrics, right? But what is the differentiating factor we have in Prisma SD-WAN, right? We we basically check the application metric, right? The round trip time, the application response time, the server response time, the network transition time. We check all of these metrics and this is all actionable, right? If you have two connectivity at your branch location, suppose two kind of an ISP at the branch location, from one ISP to reaching to any of the SaaS application, the latency is high, and from the second link the latency is low, but you identify that application response time is also low from the link one, right? So you can define all of these metrics based on the application as well. So suppose for your critical application, you can define if my network response time or the application server response time is meeting this threshold, then divert my critical application traffic to the best performing. Right? These are some of the main use cases of SD-WAN. You have to have uh, seamless load balancing, seamless failover between the links, between the WAN links, performance-based routing, which we talked about just now, measuring the network metrics as well as measuring the metrics of an application to take the action on it, right? And then the simplified management console from the single management console which you have, right? So this is basically one of the USP within our Prisma SD-WAN solution, seeing the application metric and taking the action on top of it, right? Then, as we discussed with our Prisma SD-WAN device at the branch location or at the any of your branch location connected to Prisma Access solution, you have exceptional user experience using our app acceleration or the ADAM kind of an functionality, the operational simplicity and the resilience with our SCM, which is Strata Cloud Manager, where you will be having a single pane of glass to manage your entire Prisma SASE fabric, be it Prisma Access, Prisma SD-WAN, or the Prisma browser. And the integrated security part of it, integrated security on the Prisma Access, as well as the integrated security on the SD-WAN device, right? Giving you a secure connectivity towards your application hosted anywhere. So what basically the network experience or the user experience in terms of SD-WAN if you see, right? So whenever a user is connecting towards any of the application, right, you have an SD-WAN device at your data center as well. So if suppose you have two connectivities connecting the ISP on this SD-WAN device, so we have two features. One is the packet deduplication and another one is the forward error correction. So talking about forward error correction is basically when you define some thresholds, right? If latency is above 70 ms for this of the application, this critical applications, you can have a matching criteria, match all of these critical application, defining the threshold of it, right? What is the threshold? What is the latency, loss, jitter, network response time, application response time? You can define the thresholds. After defining the thresholds, you can define the actions, right? In the action, you can mention if any of the thresholds are meeting, enable the forward error correction. So what forward error correction will do? It will send the parity packet across both the links. So whenever there is loss on your underlays, you would be easily able to recover from that parity packets, right? And then second action you can define if my critical applications are there, then these thresholds are meeting, and the action would be do the packet duplication for my very critical application, right? If you have critical application, you can define the duplication of the packets, right? If there is loss on your underlays or your application is not responding, you can send the duplicate packets on the underlay so that the receiving end of the SD-WAN device have the duplicate packet received on that device, and it can send it across to the data center, right? So you have packet deduplication and forward error correction on the SD-WAN device itself, which will give you the application acceleration and network optimization as well. With Precision AI bundle in the between with the on the Prisma Access solution, you also have the security functionality on the box as well, on the SD-WAN device, right? If suppose you have a use case of local breakouting, doing local breakout of some traffic, or you want to inspect and protect the guest traffic as well, right? Directly from the SD-WAN device, instead of sending that traffic towards Prisma Access, right? So you have the all of the security functionality on the box as well. So it is basically you can enforce adaptive security. You have advanced threat prevention, you have URL filtering, you have DNS security on the box as well. So you can protect all of the branch traffic, right? Be it going towards directly on the internet from the box. So you have all security services running on the box. You can protect and inspect all of these traffics as well, right? And uh, for all of the users, if you want to divert this traffic towards Prisma Access using the secure connectivity, which is built by integrating Prisma SD-WAN and Prisma Access, right? You can send all of this traffic to the Prisma Access and doing all of this posture check, continuous trust verification, and continuous security inspection with all of these advanced capabilities. Right? Then we also talk about simplifying the policy management, right? So what we do over here is we have a unified policy kind of a functionality where we offer a unified policy orchestrator through our Strata Cloud Manager that allow you to simply cascades a single policy across all the enforcement points, right? You have in your network. So if in the network you have your users connecting from home, users connecting from branch, user connecting from the headquarter, you have a unified policy across all the enforcement point. Right? So you have a unified policy engine managing it from the Strata Cloud Manager. Then, as I mentioned, right, this is some of the screenshots from our SEM console, where you in the traditional SD-WAN, if you talk about the actionable decision points are loss latency, and jitter on your underlay connectivity. But in our SD-WAN solution, which is one of the USP of Prisma SD-WAN, it is defined as an application centric, right? It take decision based on the application data. What is the application metric? If this is my round trip time meeting the threshold is 100 ms, right? If you see this, all this visibility on the dashboard as well, what action you need to take? If application metrics, the innate failure is 10%, the re, response time is 100 ms, then take the action. Move flows to the best performing link, or do the forward error correction, or do the packet duplication, right? So you can define the action based on the application metric, right? As well as in terms of root cause analysis or the troubleshooting point of it, you have a unified view, right, of the traffic visualization, the traffic initiated from the user towards the SD-WAN device, towards the ION device, and from the ION, the Prisma SD-WAN device, it has been moved to the Prisma access, and from Prisma access, it is going towards any of the other branch. If you have branch to branch communication or branch to data center, how that traffic is completely moved, right? From the ION 1, it has went to Prisma access, done all of the security inspection, then it is transferred to ION 2, right? All of this complete visibility you would be getting from our Flow browser, right, which is there on the SCM console as well. Then if you talk about the flow metric, right, even if a user initiated a single ping from a branch location, you would be getting every flow on the SCM console, right? Where you would be getting if the application is reachable or not, where my application response time is, what is the application response time? Suppose a user is complaining they are facing slowness on any of the applications, right? So you can easily troubleshoot it and check whether my underlay is not performing well or the application is not performing well, right? So you can just check on the dashboard itself. So if there is a server response time issue, you can easily tell to operations team or the application team that server is not responding properly. We have this data. So this is the server response time and my both underlay is performing well. So you can easily troubleshoot. So this tab in the SCM console, which is the Flow browser, is best friend for your troubleshooting and the operation team, right? And based on that data, what action has been taken, right? Excluded when path due to high response time, right? The primary path was ISP1. It excluded that path because there was high response time on that link, and it has chosen the ISP2, right? So this is how you can easily troubleshoot and see what issues you are facing in your entire Prisma SASE solution. Wherever the user is initiating traffic, it is coming to Prisma access, it is going to other SD-WAN device. You have all of this visibility in the Flow browser, right? Apart from this, we are the only vendor. If you see, the Prisma SASE solution is the only vendor in the Gartner Magic Quadrant as a leader in Prisma SASE, in the SASE, in the SSE, as well as the in the SD-WAN, right? So we are the only vendor who is the leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for SASE, SSE, and SD-WAN, all three of this, right? So I think this is my last slide. I will hand it over to Radhika to cover the next session on the Strata Cloud Manager. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Aman, for an insightful session. Okay. Aman, we have I think two questions over the Q&A. Maybe if you can have a look at that, I'll start my session meanwhile.
Sure, Radhika.
All right. Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for your time. I'm Radhika Singh, a domain consultant. So my segment will be around the unified SASE platform, which Aman has given a hint about it. So basically, we will see the Palo Alto Networks Strata Cloud Manager. Let me start. Okay. So what's needed to manage the security and operations today? What we have seen, the current approaches, the legacy approaches to managing the network infrastructure, right? they lack the security and the predictive and actionable insights. They lack the integration of the multiple security tools. And because of that, it leads to a significant visibility gaps and the poor operational performance, inconsistent security policies, and over unnecessary cost. So the problem is when the enterprises are doing a manual monitoring of the multiple security tools, it becomes impossible for the organization to predict, I mean, to even predict or forecast any issues that can cause your network or user disruption. So hence we come up with the Strata Cloud Manager, which is the industry's first AI-powered unified management and operations platform. So what Strata Cloud Manager provides you with, these are the five pillars on the screen. We will be seeing this in detail in the demo as well. So Strata Cloud Manager, the first pillar is the visibility. So it gives you a visibility of the entire traffic going through either the firewalls, hardware, software firewalls, Prisma Access, Prisma SD-WAN. You have a complete visibility of the traffic, how it is secured. Then the second portion is the management. So it is the first time that you can manage your policies, your all the configuration across all the enforcement points through a single panel. And the best part is you can write one policy and enforce it everywhere. You can enforce it on your Prisma Access, on the firewalls, everywhere. So, which streamlines your policy configuration management as well as it reduces your operational overhead. The third pillar is the security posture. So, what Strata Cloud Manager helps you with, it helps you to strengthen your security posture in the real time using the AI powered analysis as well as the best practice analysis. So, what it does, your policies which are already configured, or whenever you're configuring the new policies, it checks those policies against a certain industry standards or the frameworks or the compliance checks and lets you know, okay, if this policy can be configured or not. So, which helps you to maintain the security posture, or even you can improve your security posture as well. The fourth thing is the operational health. So nowadays, like we don't know when your firewalls are running, whether it is going to reach its capacity, right? Somebody has to manually monitor it. What our solution does it gives you the complete operational health view of the users as well, of the and the deployment health of the devices as well. And using the AI powered analysis, we are able to forecast if there is any capacity bottleneck up to 7 days in advance. So it shows you that this is the firewall running, this is the memory, this is the CPU utilization as per today and as per the past experience. So by this date, it will be over the capacity. So which means you can take a call, you can plan your upgrade accordingly. And the fifth pillar is the co-pilot. So the Strata co-pilot is basically a AI powered assistance included into the dashboard. So basically using the natural language processing, you can put any query and it will give you the deep insight from your environment on just at your fingertips. So you can ask any information, which we will see in the demo. How does it work? So this is all it's about the Strata Cloud Manager. It includes the holistic management of your entire network security infrastructure, your hardware firewalls, your VM firewalls, cloud firewalls, your Prisma, the Prisma Access, SD-WAN, entire thing. And it includes, along with managing all these, it has the capacity of AI powered operations along with AI powered digital experience as well as the management. How this Strata Cloud Manager works. So it's pretty straightforward. What it does it, so you might be aware about the SLS, which is the Strata logging service, where Palo Alto, all the security devices sends its logs to. So what happens is the Strata Cloud Manager collects the telemetry information from all the enforcement points. And then these telemetry information, it processes it into the cloud. And then the Strata Cloud Manager converts that information into an actionable insights, and which you can see it on the dashboard. And that actionable insights gives you the wisdom to use or to enforce that policy across your entire environment. All right. One second. Yeah. So this is what we will be seeing in the demo. These are all the capabilities of the Strata Cloud Manager. It gives you the complete visibility across your enterprise, like how the users are connected, how the IoT devices or their endpoints are connected, which traffic channel it is your traffic is going through, your firewalls, Prisma access, what are the application they are accessing. So you get an end-to-end complete view of the application, the sites being accessed from a single dashboard. The second point which I told about is the simple and consistent network security management. So as I already told, you can just write one policy and you can enforce it across all the enforcement points, right? And then when, let's say, you have a new branch coming, you don't have to think about like how will my configuration, how will the onboarding be happening. What Strata Cloud Manager gives you is it gives simplify the onboarding you using your zero touch provisioning. So what it does, it you have the readily available the best practice snippets which you can just include it, import it into your devices, and have it ready on the very first day. And then regarding the upgrades, regarding the config operation, the device refresh, all these things are being taken care from the cloud side. The third thing is it strengthens your security posture. So what happens is like whenever you are writing any policy, now if that policy is already being allowed in the below rules, or if you are writing any policy which is a overly permissive rule, which is not aligning to a zero trust policy framework, it gives you using the AI predictive analytics, it gives you that okay, this policy is not matching these standards. Please have a look at it. So it helps you maintain the security posture at the very moment when you are writing the policy. And also ensure, so it continuously monitors the compliance checks and gives you the status that whether your entire the network security environment is compliant with respect to all these industry standards, which I will showcase you. Like we showcase all those frameworks along with the assessment of your current network security environment. Okay. Yeah. And then the last thing was the Strata Copilot. So Strata Copilot, it is AI-powered assistance where we can write the queries and have an answer instantly, which we will see again in the demo. Okay. So now let's move on to the demo. Okay, let me just refresh it for a better experience. All right. So this is a Strata Cloud Manager, and we are very excited to showcase you the command center view of the Strata Cloud Manager. So on the summary page, it gives you a 10,000 feet view of your entire environment, like how your devices, how the users, how the other types of hosts are protected from the firewalls or from the Prisma access. So basically, if you can see on my screen, like you can hover over on any of this link and you can see, okay, these many users and they are compromising of remote users or the branch users, this much traffic, around 140.2 GB data transfer is happening through Prisma Access, and the users are accessing the internet application, what SaaS applications, what private applications are being used. So you can even from just by hovering over it, we can see how much of the data is being transferred to those particular application. All right. So let's say for an example, if I click on this SaaS application, Rapid Share, what is this application? You can just click on it and you have a complete visibility about that application. Let it load. 1 second, yes. Okay, it's loading. Meanwhile, I'll just click. Allow me a minute. Yeah, it's loaded. So when I clicked on that application, you can see the risk score of that application. The very first thing that we see is this is a high risk application because the risk score is 4. Then we see how many users are accessing this application. There are 3 users which are accessing this application. And what is the threat that this application can bring into? Basically, it is a command and control types of an attacks, and the data exfiltration can happen. So we can see the data transfer, that at what date, how much is the upload, how much is the download happening. So now you have a complete visibility of particular application. So you can take an action that, okay, this application to be allowed with restrictive control or only to specific users, or you want to block it in order to have the zero trust control into place, because no application should be allowed like the fully. So you can have a least privilege access control in order to be compliant with the zero trust framework. So this is where you see the data transfer and the connectivity. The second thing we see is the threats information. So once we click on the threats, we can see that because of this threat prevention, the URL filtering, the wildfire, all these capabilities, how many threats we were able to block, how many threats were alerted, right? So if you can see on the screen that from the users traffic, around 44,000 threats were blocked, 33,000 were blocked because of the URL filtering. Because of other types of host, how the data is prevented. You can just hover over it and you can see it. Let's say you come down and at the bottom, we can see the blocked and the alert threats based on the category levels. The malware category, the command and control, phishing. So if I click on the command and control types of attacks, threats, so I get a full visibility about the command and control, like what kind of C2 threats were coming into my network. Was I able to prevent it? So if you see here, you get a complete graphical view. I clicked on the C2 and exfiltration. You can see around 121 botnet attacks were there. There were web shell attacks were there. There was silver evasive C2 traffic was there. So you can see we were able to protect around 9,890,000 threats. We were able to block it. And for the administrator, it becomes a one place to go. You can see all these threats information, like what was the action taken, what was who was the user accessing which application because of this, the C2 category of threat was trying to coming into my network, right? We can see all this information. Which rule was it triggering this? So all this information, you get it, and then you can take an action about maybe if it was just alerted, and if you want to block certain things, we can go ahead and check it. So this was about the threats thing. Then we have the operational health. So when we come to the operational health, so basically it tells you the deployment health of the your firewalls or the Prisma access, and also it tells you the user experience as well. So if you see, that's one of the best part, because the administrators get so many complaints that, okay, this user is not able to access this application. Now you don't know where is the issue. The issue can be at the device level, the issue can be at the application level, internet level, LAN level. So we need to have that visibility. So this is where our user device experience comes into the picture. Once you click on this view user device experience, so it gives you all the critical, the domains which we are monitoring. So let's say there are 14 domains which is being monitored. You get a visibility about how many domains are having a good experience, which means everything is going fine. Some which are the domains which are having a fair, normal experience, and which are having a poor experience. So let's say, for an example, these are the application domains which is not having a good experience. The first one is the ServiceNow. So let me show you the Salesforce, because let's say Salesforce is one of the critical application which should be up all the time and should be at a good experience level. So what we can do is we can go inside that application domain, and we can see that, okay, these many users, 15 users are connected and they're having a fair experience. So you get a full thing about the LCP information, like the page to load time, why it is not good, because if it is more than 2.5 seconds, which means it is not a good performance of the page. So when we come down, you have a full visibility. Now what we can do is we can just click on the users and have a visibility about it. So once you click on this, let me open any of the user, and you can go to this experience page. So now everything like the hop to hop information, you get it from this page. So you can see that around 2.9 hour was impacted because of the application performance. And if you come down, you can see exact path to this application. So from the device, the Wi-Fi, the LAN, the internet, and to this application. So it is loading. And then it will show you exactly at what hop the issue was. Okay. So from this application experience page, if somebody is saying that we are not able to access this application, you can come here, you can search for the user and come to this experience tab, and you have a complete visibility of it. All right. So this plays a very important role in troubleshooting and reducing the troubleshooting time. Then we have this data security. So when we talk about the data security, in many organizations, data security is a separate project running in the silos. But with Strata Cloud Manager, we bring it on a single dashboard, on a single panel. So what happens is you have a complete visibility about the data in motion, the data at rest. So in the motion, when the data is in motion, what is the sensitive data which is being, somebody's trying to exfiltrate it, whether the data is exposed publicly, company level, you get a complete visibility of it. You can see how many incidents are being generated as a part of that DLP profiles which you have configured. What are the applications where somebody is trying to exfiltrate the data from? So all this information, you can see it from this page. And on this bottom, we can see that what all the security subscriptions which had helped you to generate those incidents. So as you can see, because of the DLP inline subscription, around 589 critical incidents were generated. Because of the SaaS inline, high-risk applications were able to detect. So all these things you can see. And you can so it is what I'm showcasing you, keeping in the mind of the time, keeping in mind for the time check. I'm just showcasing you from the overall perspective. But definitely, what we can do is, if you have a time, maybe we can have a call, and then we can just go deep detail for any application, for any profiles, and have a detailed view about what more value it provides. Right. So if I clicked on this OpenAI ChatGPT, I could see that, okay, there were downloaded assets, how many were blocked assets, and how many were uploaded assets onto that application. So this full visibility, you get it from here. And one of the very good part, the interesting or my favorite part is the Strata Copilot. So you just need to click on the Strata Copilot. If you want to configure anything, if you want to know anything, you just need to type your query here and you will have the answer to it. So basically, Strata Copilot helps you to have a more insight about your network data, right? So you configure everything, you have the solution, you have the subscription. Now you want to get a value out of it on your fingertips. You write your query and you have it. So for the time being, saving, I ran few queries in the morning. So let's say who are the 5 users exposed to the highest number of threads. So you can see, you run the query and you have the answer that these were the 5 users who were exposed to the highest number of threads. Right. So you can see, you can just put any of the query, like which hour of the day my traffic is the highest or the least number of users are connected. You put it here and you have an answer for it. So this is the Strata Copilot. Regarding the AI powered operations, so definitely we are using the AI powered analytics. But one of the very good thing I want to showcase you here is the AI canvas. So basically, AI canvas is if you want to have a more deeper understanding, right? So what we can do is we can create the dynamic dashboards, okay, and the reports on the fly using the natural language. You don't need to have any coding skills or deep dive skills. You can use the already created widgets and you can write your query and create a canvas. So let's say in the morning, I just created this branch site operations and the usage status in my environment. So how does these canvas looks like is, yeah, let it load. So it simplifies the insights into your network data. You can have multiple widgets, multiple dashboards running, and which gives you whatever you want to have the insights about. So list all the branch sites and the current BJP status. It's giving you all the branch sites information about it. The total bandwidth usage over the last 7 days broken by the branch size. So these are all the dynamic dashboards which are running. So you can create so many AI canvas and you just need to write a query here. Let me show me the top 10 users with high bandwidth. So it will just take some time and the canvas, the dashboard will be generated. So this is the best thing with respect to how you can get more value from any tool. Next, I want to showcase you here is we talk so much about the zero trust posture center, right? Like the companies are abide to follow whether their environment is zero trust compliant or not. So here comes is the zero trust posture center. So it gives you it assesses what it does. It assess your all the policies, and it shows your alignment with the zero trust framework or not. So you can see for our environment, it shows that we are 67.2% assessment passed. And it tells me the recommendations also that there are some overly permissive rules identified. The user credentials are, the MFA is not configured. So you need to do this. So now, uh, it is just one click to go. You can come onto the screen and you can see, okay, the anomalies. This is the rules which I needs to be optimized. There is a config cleanup required, like there are some unused objects, unused policies, the rules which have never been last 1 year. How do I do a cleanup for them? Custom check analytics. So you get a complete picture of the Zero Trust Posture Center from this page. All right. And what I was talking about, the compliance check. So in the compliance center page, you see what it does. It continuously monitors your entire security infrastructure with respect to with respect to industry, all these industry frameworks, or you can create your own custom benchmarks also. So as per the NIST, what is the percentage, how much you are complying with this CSF framework, CRI profile. You can create your own benchmarks also. So what happens is whenever somebody is creating any policy, somebody is allowing any traffic, they get to see that, okay, this is deviating from my industry best practices. Let me not enforce it. Okay. So this is about the compliance part. Like how do we have the compliance in place? Okay. Let me have a time check. I have
Radhika,
1 more minute. Yes.
so yeah, the
Yeah.
time is over. So maybe 1 minute is fine, right?
Yeah. I'll just end it. Yeah. So I'll just end it. Allow me. So definitely, I just want to conclude it. What drove success for an organization? The first thing is simplifies operation. How we can simplify, which we have seen. Write it once, enforce it everywhere. All the upgrades, recommendations, everything you get to see from the dashboard minimizes the misconfiguration. And the third thing is the SaaS benefits. So your upgrade maintenance, your CV, all these things, the patches, everything is being taken handled by the cloud provider. So from our Cypress back, the one common platform, which is the Strata Cloud Manager. So yeah, that's it from my end. Thank you.